Welcome back to Pull Up with Miles and Owen. Today we got a really special episode for you. We have one of my favorites in this space. He does everything. He's a musical artist. He works for Meadowlark Media doing socials for the Levitard show. But most importantly, he is a huge WNBA fan. We see him at all the major W events. On TV, you'll see him at Dream Games sitting courtside. JuJu Gotti, what is up? Thank you for pulling up with us.
What is happening, my brothers? Thank you for having me, man. I'm so honored to be sitting here with the kids themselves. Look at these handsome brothers, ladies. Look at these guys. I know they're probably taken, but just look at them, drink them in. God damn it, such handsome men. Thank y'all for having me. And I love, bro. Every time I get the chance to talk to people who know about the W, which is few and far between, I am all in, brother. So thank y'all for having me.
Now I mean, it's not often that a guest comes on and then one ups the intro where we try to lay it on heavy, and then you came back over the top and you came back in transition.
Yeah, we're gonna clip that. We're gonna use it for promo for the show now.
Yeah, exactly. Every episode will start like that from now on. I think let's just start with your background, and because you just do such amazing work now, but I know that it's been a journey for you to get into this space and to get to where you are now with Levitar, with Meadowlark. So how did sports, I guess, let's start from the beginning, kind of start on your radar?
Yeah, thank you for saying that too. I appreciate it because doing social media, there's a lot of insecurity that tags along every now and then that you don't even see coming along. Hey, what the hell? How did you get here? And so a comment will get up under your breastplate, and you be like, 2 weeks ago and seeing what he posted and seeing where he lived. And so you got to get out of there. You feel me? So but my background, basically, I come from, you know what I mean, doing music, being in street circles, you know what I mean, dealing with street cats. And about 2017, 16, 17, I was doing music, and the guy who I was pretty much trusting and getting knowledge from, understanding how to do my releases, how to register my songs, all of that. You know what I mean? The stuff I didn't even know how to do. He got murdered by my other homie. And so it sent me into a tailspin. And then so I started trying to focus on other things that make me happy because music was pain for some reason for a couple years in a row, bro. Like I couldn't even listen to rap without thinking of my homie. So sports became the outlet that, well, I love sports, you know what I mean? That I could, it's like a universe you can go into without having to think about your problems for that 2 hours or however long the game is. And I do the same thing with sci-fi movies. Like, I need a break from Earth. Let me go see what they're doing on Jupiter ascending and see if I can ascend for 2 hours. And so sports became that to me. I was sleeping outside for a little while and had a ESPN app. And then I realized you can watch it on here. And I was like, oh, damn. And so long story short, that was how I got into it. Reached out to a couple people here and there. Some show stuff happened where I got a tattoo on my leg of one of the legends of the Levitard show.
Shout out
They
Greg
got
Cody.
that. You feel me? Salute to my big dog. You dig it? They got a hold of that information, and then we got to rapping, and that's how it happened. A couple years later, they saw I was capable. I'm sorry for rambling too. I've been talking for 2 days already. Goodness gracious! But they saw I was capable, and they gave me an opportunity, which I will never not appreciate. Like no matter when it ends, no matter what that day is, or if it never ends, I will never look past the fact that these folks gave me an opportunity whenever I barely believed in myself. And so now I'm just so honored to be able to talk to you guys and be considered a sports guy. You feel me?
Absolutely. And I just wanted to follow up on that real quick, and thank you for sharing that. And you may just it at the top, but you've been very open about mental health in this space, and I think that that's really important, really powerful, and especially now that you've got this huge platform, it's really inspiring, and just a willingness to come onto a pod and we haven't even, that was question one, and you're already there, which we appreciate. We appreciate the trust there, but also wanted to say thank you for just being able to be in these spaces and to be unapologetically yourself, and to just, all of us are out here, flaws and all. But I think that that is really important for especially when we're entering spaces, and we're going to talk a lot about the W here, where we're aware we need to be aware of some of these social relationships as men in this space, and I think it needs to
Yeah.
be constantly front of mind. So thank you for just already sharing and kind of being open about everything.
Hell yeah, I appreciate it. Like, bro, like I lived my life for too long holding everything in and expecting everybody around me to know what I'm feeling inside or know not to say this to me or know that I'm in this mood today, so don't try me. Like, nah, bro, if you don't teach your friends how to friend you, they won't learn and you're just gonna keep letting them fall in random booby traps that they didn't even know was there. They was just walking. You should have told me it was a fucking quicksand here, bro. I would have never walked that way. And then you get into quarrels. So I try to be more open, you did, so people can know exactly what I'm coming from.
I love that.
This might be the best start to a pod we've ever had. Like wisdom on question two. I'm like, damn. Usually we're just, talking about basketball or whatever. This is amazing. What put the WNBA onto your radar, and just tell us about getting into this league that we love and that brings us here today.
Yeah, man. Like I always loved basketball from the time I was a boy. You know what I mean? I thought I was. If you would have asked me when I was a kid, what are you gonna be doing when you're an adult? No matter what, like bet all your money on it. I'd have been like, I'm gonna be a Chicago Bull and I'm gonna be number 24 because Michael Jordan is 23. He's not gonna let me have that one. And so yeah, but I thought I was gonna be playing basketball, so I always loved it. When I was younger, I loved the comments and just the teaspoon and the Liberty, Rebecca Lobo now salute, and it was just such a big thing to me. And then somewhere within what do they call it, the aughts, whenever I went to college, I kind of fell off from watching it as much because the presentation didn't feel grand anymore. It didn't feel like I'm watching an event. It just felt like kind of I don't know. You feel me? So around I say like whenever I went through my depression and stuff, I just went back to my roots and I was like, you know what? Let me watch stuff that I actually enjoy. Let me find out who I actually am. And bruh, since then, man, I've been so locked into every single W game, bruh, because these sisters can hoop now. Like it's not like when you watching other like you know what I mean, other leagues, and you be like, she should have Euro. Nah, they Euroing on point, behind the back, skill. Like it's so entertaining to me, and I just who don't love women just because like I support women on whatever they got to do because having to go through what they go through so many like sexual harassment, workplace condition, go to the gas station and get hit on. It's so much they have to go through. So to see these women go out there and persevere through that and become like so fire at everything, bro. I'm a fan. They got a fan of me for life. You did.
Yeah, yeah. I think that like
Speaking,
some of what we talk about is recently the W turning into this mainstream thing, right? Like
Yeah.
I think we all kind of experienced that because Owen and I started covering the league 2018, 2019. So it was kind of as that crest was coming, as we were starting to get to that point, and there was a steady growth. But now obviously it's exploded. But
Yeah.
I was kind of the same way as you. I grew up New York City. I remember those Liberty teams in the late 90s. And then it kind of just fell on the wayside. And I think it's because the coverage wasn't there. The TV
Right.
broadcasting wasn't there. There were lots of holes. But how have you experienced this? I would say even the last 2 years, because it's really started college and then worked its way
Yeah.
up into the W and kind of grew, I think, from the storytelling around that initial Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese championship
Right.
game, and it's kind of grown from there.
Hell yeah. Like it's been epic. The growth has been epic. But I'm not gonna act like it's still not where it needs to be
Mhm.
specifically. Like last year was one of the most trying years I've had as a W fan because the Ion channel for some reason, whenever it says Liberty versus Sun, that mother trucker is gonna play the damn Hawaii 5-0 or some like Bookem Dano. I'm like, bro, it's like I'm tweeting the W. What Peachtree TV? What has happened? I don't know where to go. I don't know where to find it. In some instances, this year I haven't ran into that problem as much. But yeah, bro, like it's an honor to see the growth from 2020 to now. Like the pandemic games and watching the Dream where we couldn't even sit by the court. We had to sit rows and rows back and sit between, brother, and to see where we are now, it's just so beautiful.
It's awesome. I wanted to ask you specifically about someone you have a relationship with, Renee Montgomery, and specifically, like, I really like what you said about how there was that period of time where it wasn't feeling like an event, like a big thing.
Yeah.
And now, like, you tune in and it's just palpable, the energy, like everyone is tapped in, everyone wants to know what's good in the W. How has your relationship with Renee influence your fandom, and as someone who, she is someone who is investing in the league and
Right.
want it to build it into what it should be, as you're saying, and where it needs to go, which is, this big, massive sports league that everyone wants to tune into.
Hell yeah, bruh. Being around her and her family, her sister, her son, her wife, her mom, and her dad, like they all are just as passionate as she is about the damn Dream. Like you can't help but get it rubbed off on you because you're not gonna come half stepping like being around them. They're gonna make sure to stand up. You with us? You rolling? Like, and so that energy, and that's just not with the Dream. That's just with life with them. Like we go to a restaurant, go out to eat. Energy always up, no matter what. If you're having a rough time, you could talk to sis, and they treat me like family, like, and it's as an adult man, that's rare. And so them treating me that way, I feed back into it. So I treat them like family, and it's been lovely because here in Atlanta, I don't have too much real family, like at all. My family is 4 hours down the road here, DC, Newark, and we don't necessarily communicate that much. So for me to feel like I can actually call them when I'm stressed, I can actually hit them up, be at the game with them, and then root for the Dream and tell them I wish we would have had Maisha Hines Allen, and I don't know how we let her go to Timberwolves if we could get some help for Tina Charles. But neither here nor there. But I just love the fact that they welcome me into their family, and I definitely welcome them back to mine.
I love that you can straddle that line with fandom and media, because that's something that we would love to do. We would love to, like, every now and then we'll see Liberty people around, and off the record we can be like, what was that rotation? What were you thinking there?
Right.
Something you might not, those conversations that you might want to like keep away from the mics. But I don't think we can go to the extent of, what are you looking at? What was that trade package? And why could you not?
And to be fair, Renee would never respond to me in these instances. Neither does my other but good friends in the organization and in their positions. I say these things around them within earshot so I know they can hear these things. But their responses are never valid or on record.
No, it's important though, because you are the man of the people, right? They keep their finger on the pulse for what the fans want based on how loudly you're clamoring for somebody in free agency. So they need it.
But look, and since I didn't come here, but since we ended up here, like I don't know how we ended up here, I feel like where we are right now as the Dream organization, I love the Dream. Right now we are in what we got the Wings under us, the Sparks under us, and also the
Mystics.
The Mystics under us, which is a whole new team without B Sykes. That's a whole new team. That's not the Mystics anymore. And I feel like the Wings, that's the Sawtooth back. That's the whole different team. I just can't do this. And the Sparks, Terminator Rakia Jackson, what is happening? Like, what is this? Who is this mutant? Like, how is she hitting every single shot she puts? And so I know that I can see coming around the mountain the next year's draft. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to leave it there.
That's such a tough thing, because the Dream are making a push right now too, and came out of the break.
Yes.
You finally have Ryan back. Jordan Cannon has had such tough injury luck, but we know that Jordan changes the entire game on both ends of the floor as a point guard and just as that perimeter defender. It's not easy to be bad in the W because everybody is so good.
But now imagine Kiki on the post. I'm not saying that's what it was saying. I'm just saying, imagine what someone like Paige could do for the arena. Like, I don't know who said that. Sorry.
I gotta say, Kiki on the Dream would be elite. Ooh, I would love
Oh
that.
my goodness
Oh,
gracious.
I see the
man.
fit because you are building around Ryan and Big Al right now, and you need
Right.
somebody long term to build around in that front court. And Kiki, I see the fit. I like it.
Bruh.
The good thing is
Im-
this draft looks so deep next year, so
Right.
you might be
Imagine
good at five.
Indiana last year around this time. They
Yep.
knew what to do. They saw the writing on the words, no puns intended. So I'm just saying we should maybe take a page. I'm not saying if we got a chance, if we think we're gonna win the championship this year, foot on the gas, let's go. But if there's even an inkling of a doubt that we're not gonna win the championship this year, next
Yeah.
question.
You said
Hey,
you said take a page. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I see what you did there. So so we'll move on. Not many large networks are talking about the W, but
Yeah.
at Meadowlark the last couple of years, and it's credit to you and Jess and Lucy, you've really pushed it the last few years on the pod, and I was always grateful for that because when somebody would hit you with a stat and that was just explicitly men's sports, you'd very
Yeah.
quickly counter with don't forget about women. Like, don't forget what Serena Williams has done, or don't
Right.
forget about Diana Taurasi. And I think that that's really important. But I've noticed a shift, right? Like, it's gotten to the point now where those references to the W are not rebuttals. They're not just
Yeah.
shoehorned in because you're fighting for space. It feels like there has been a palpable change, like a paradigm shift there, where now there's investment there. So, how have
Yeah.
you helped to convert some of the shipping container into becoming fans of the W, or at least created an open conversation so that they could become fans and feel safe in this new space?
I mean, repetitiveness. Sometimes you gotta kill a gnat with a sledgehammer and just tell them about it, and then tell them about it, and then remind them about it, and just keep a fact under your belt. Like when they get so amazed at what Tom Brady is doing and LeBron James is doing at this age. Oh my goodness! Like when we go and talk about that greatness, let's go ahead and say the same thing about DT because Diana Taurasi is out there last night, today, hooping right now, 42 years old. Like, come on now. And she's still the number one scorer in the WNBA. Still adding on this. She see Tina Charles on her ass. She's like, not yet, sis. You feel me? I think that's just as amazing as the King with the powder and Tom Brady. I think it's that much important and seeing the little kids around the Dream Arena who waiting to see Angel Reese or who just want to just touch Ryan or can pass me the ball, I pass it back. Seeing that's why it's important because, bro, these little boys got 100 people to look up to before breakfast. The football about to start back. The NBA just finished heroic slaying of France in the Olympics. We're not Bryce Harper and them, Otani. They're not short of role models, but the women and these little girls, we gotta try to help them see that, bruh, it ain't about being a Barbie doll perfect. It ain't about nothing. You can be just as good at sports as this brother. You can skateboard. You could break dance, salute the ray gun. You could do whatever you want to do. Your options are unlimited. You feel me? And I'm here to promote that.
And I think we've seen in recent years that the W sometimes has had an issue doing that. We've seen Candace Parker not get the flowers that she should have on her way out. Sylvia Fowles a couple of years ago. Simone Augustus got nothing basically.
Right.
And it's tough. I was lucky enough at All Star this year to go to a brunch for Cheryl Swoops honoring her. And Cheryl spoke at the end, thanked everybody, and said, "It's amazing that I'm getting this moment, but there are so many of my sisters who have not. And
Right.
I'm doing this. I'm a stand-in for all of the women that played in those early years that paved the way, that created this foundation that are kind of forgotten because you can look at stats on a page, but I've got some friends. Shout out to our boy Mark Schindler who talks about how you can't watch W games from more than a decade back. It's impossible to find some of this stuff.
Right.
It's already lost to time. So we need to do better by the legends of this game because yes,
Right.
we see these huge names that are coming, but we need to do better honoring them while they're still putting up those numbers. While there's too much conversation about DT, DT hanging up, don't be on the Olympic team, whatever, clear a spot.
Man.
No, it's awesome. She has 6 gold medals. That's
Right.
setting that record. it's amazing. So just shout out to all of these hoopers that have been doing it, because
Right.
without them, we're not where we are now in this moment. Because I think we saw it last week with Caitlin being in Minnesota, right, and being able to talk to Maya Moore and
Yeah.
talking for so long about how Maya was just such a large influence for her. And that's the passing of the torch that we really need to see, that thread line all the way through.
Right. Imagine that. Like that's Muhammad Ali we looking at right there. That's the representation of like she dropped. Just imagine LeBron James, Michael Jordan saying, "You know what? I'm I'm through playing basketball. This person was wrong and I'm going to devote all of my energy to getting them out of jail." Are you serious? Come on, bro. You know how selfish people are these days. That's one of the most selfless things I've ever seen in sports. For sure, hands down, to give your career up for someone's freedom, and then congratulations as a caveat to find love in the process. That's the hopeless. The Rihanna song, "We Found Our Love in a Hopeless Place." Maya Moore, put her in the new video for that one, the remix, because that's a hopeless place, and it is so lovely to see them right now.
We need the movie. Like there would have been a movie made about this already if the roles were reversed, right? So we need to
Right?
see the Maya Moore life story. That needs to be in production somewhere.
Hell yeah, man.
We need it. So, how have you? Because we talked a little bit about the Meadowlark side, but in your everyday life, do you feel like it's palpable the conversations surrounding the W and this growth that we're seeing, whether it's you coming to the draft or just in your everyday life? Are you sensing this, excitement and the big boom that's happening?
Hell yeah. But if I'm being real, a lot of my homies are feeling the boom because they are now able to put action on them. That was a lot of them introduction, and now once they're watching their action take place, they find themselves hooked. I'm like, hold on, tomorrow Tasha Cloud play. Let me see how that's gonna be. And so a lot of the fandoms, I don't care where your fandom start. Even if like I'm not one of the people who feel like I gotta gatekeep. Y'all didn't watch it last year, so y'all can't talk about it. No, this is my W. No, I'm happy that people are coming here. However they found it, I'm happy. As long as they can find a way to keep respect or be willing to receive criticism. Like you don't have to be like, oh yeah, I've been talking about it. Like sometimes Monica may not get you in the corner and you be like, oh, you just gotta let her have it, bro. It's just be like, you know what, Monica, you're right. That would have done way better for him if you just admitted, like, hey, when you're right, Monica. That's why we need you up here. Boom. Versus, I've been an advocate. Have you heard of Monica Minette? It's because of me. We don't need that part right there. Just help us celebrate it in the ways you can, bro. And if you don't have nothing positive to say, you already know where you can take that one.
So
I, I
I
couldn't
think
I couldn't
that's
agree more.
yeah, I was
This
going to say that's a perfect transition here. We had on the list, we wanted to ask you for your favorite underrated WNBA players. We want someone that you just love to watch them hoop. They don't have to be first team all W. They don't have to, it could be the way they play or the way they get down on defense, anything, the way they deal with media. Who's someone that you feel
Bruh.
doesn't get enough shine for what she's doing out there?
Bruh, it's so many people. I'm gonna just go around the horn and just see who I can think of everywhere. Of course, Alicia Gray, Azurá Stevens. For real, I'm not gonna go there. But you know what? I am gonna go there. Kayla McBride, bruh. I know she
I
did
love
the 3 point
K-Mac.
contest this year, but come on, bruh. Put some respect on sis. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. Bridget Carlton. Like I think Bridget Carlton for her to be able to step up when the big Lil Feezy got hurt. Like, bruh, that stretch before the Olympic break was what Minnesota needed because now they know, oh shit, we could do it no matter what. If of course we love Big Fee, but if she's not here, I think we can look down the bench and we got confidence in ourselves. So I feel like everybody on the Minnesota Lynx team need credit. Courtney Williams and Zandolcini, I see you. Like everybody's important. Marina Mabry stepping up after this trade, that could have crushed her. 24 points against her old team. Goodness gracious alive. Like, what's happening? Leonie Fibich stepping up whenever Benaja got hurt. Oh, my goodness. Like, after the Olympic break, when she was already dealing with a little rib, she was already hurt, put herself on the line, come back. And I don't think the New York Liberty win those games without her. So, I mean, I can keep going if you want me to. Odyssey Sims, oh, my goodness. Bruh, Odyssey Sims need to be on somebody's team for the whole rest of the year.
Absolutely.
She showed you in Dallas, whatever that stipulation is, commish. Do the right thing, like Spike
She did
Lee.
the Liberty work last night, so she's doing it wherever she goes. And that's the problem, is that every team is like midway through the season, and Odyssey is sitting there, and she made every single roster better. And she just goes, she does her work 7 days at a time. She locks back in as long as possible. But you're right, Odyssey, and I've gotten to see her the last couple of years. I've gone down to AU, and Odyssey's been down here, and she's a bucket. She's a bucket.
Right.
She's a leader, and just like she's kind of built for that format, right? Which is basically like fantasy basketball, but being played out in front of you, where you get your own points and everything. And Odyssey's just built for it. So I love that shout out. I mean, all those names that you said, you went all the way down the roster on Minnesota. I love that. So yeah,
and Lindsey Allen. Before I was Lindsey Allen too, having to step up without Ken for these last couple of days. Lindsey Allen, I see you. Go Irish. Salute.
She's been fourth quarter Lindsey the last couple of games, because you needed someone to help generate some offense there, especially when things slow down. And she's impressed me. She's getting her shots. And shout out to Mick over there. Mick has been playing so well since becoming a starter after that Marina trade. Those minutes are going to open for somebody, and she's been really big for them. And obviously, she was a rookie with us in New York, so we've got much love for her here.
Right. Also, Salute Doggy Dog for her losing her mother this year, like, and to still come back, broken nose, like, bruh. And she's not a spring chicken anymore, and she's still coming in providing. The other night she was on fire. It was like, bruh, salute the big Salute Dog. I mean, Courtney Vandersloot, you feel me? Put respect on her name, but I call her Salute Doggy Dog, aka Salute D-O-double-G.
I was thinking,
that's a champion right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sorry to cut you off, Owen, but I just started an ambassadorship with Basketball Reference, and I've been looking around, and I love how on the baseball pages, on the NBA pages, they have all the nicknames. And I was thinking the other day, we don't have enough WNBA nicknames, so I think that's got to be a new campaign. Is just come up with.
We can do that show. Maybe we can do that show in the future. Coming soon.
We should.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a run back. Is we'll get 3 names per team. We'll all come up with the best thing we got.
Boom.
We So speaking of the underappreciated W players, are there any players you would like to see do media, or you would like to just chop it up with in some type of, situation where you're producing content or anything like that? Like who are the players that you think would just kill it, on TV?
I mean, of course, and then thinking of this name, I forgot to say Tiffany Hayes, and that's a big no-no for me. Like, Tiffany Hayes, oh my goodness, legend. But Sydney Colston, bro, like, self-explanatory, bro. See the kid, like, she, I think you could put her as a judge on a TV show. She would rule it hilariously. You could put her in the hidden punk camera TV show like Ashton, put her in the Ashton role. She could kill it, crush it. She could be a runway model. Salute to her and Maddie Too Smooth. I see you. I think she is, and her, salute to her agent. Salute, I see you, big sis. I ain't gonna throw you out there like that. But yeah, bro, I like Sydney Colson in any kind of weather.
Mm-hmm. No, Sid is a great one, and the Sid and TP show was so great that off the ground we're able to watch it all, and just the chemistry the two of them have. It's just comedy everywhere. And we need more of Sid. And she's also been so great. And that's something I learned at AU the last couple of years, is that she's been there since the jump. And it's a different side of her, because you see her on Twitter where she's just jokes everywhere and just getting into it with dumb fans or whatever. But to see her take on a leadership role like that, because we know that that's what she does in that Aces locker room. We know how important she is. They don't win game 4 of the finals last year without the defense that she plays in that game, stepping up for Chelsea Gray. Right. But to see Sid as this person who is the veteran, right? Who's creating opportunities for the young players to come through to AU and making sure that
Yeah.
they're able to get run, that they don't have to go overseas. Just the things that she experienced, we've talked about it, right? The pay it forward. She really has all the experience to do anything at all in this space. So yeah, we need
Yeah.
more Sid everywhere.
You feel me? Let's get those T-shirts printed up tomorrow too. We doing big business. We finna make merch after the day show. We gonna get the names, nickname coming up. See it the kid merch. See it for president. Damn near 2028. Let's just keep it rolling.
Come on. We're cooking. We're
I'd be
cooking.
much more excited about this election, I think, if the ballot was Sid and TP.
Right. See it and Tasha Cloud, bro. I'm with y'all. Lead us.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. That's a ticket we can believe in. Come on now.
So you referenced this earlier in terms of just how the access point for anybody can be. It's okay, right? As long as you get here, that's what's important. And at Metal-Arc, you guys have this partnership with DraftKings, and I know that the offerings haven't always been there for women's sports, and we're seeing them grow and grow. But they're, on one hand, I agree with you that it's creating new fans, right? And that's amazing. Any new outlet, any way that you can get people to be like, there's a game to tune in, that's good. How do we balance that with the toxicity that feels like is only associated or is uniquely associated with gambling? Because I do think that sometimes those fans get upset with, oh, I had, over 20 and a half points, rebounds, assists, and you didn't play the fourth quarter because you're up by 20. And like the players are then receiving that vitriol. Like, how do you find that balance?
I think if you are a person who gambles and then gets angry whenever your gambling doesn't hit and you want to take to Twitter, you, sir, are what's wrong with Earth, planet Earth. Like, we're the Planeteers. You could be one too. Captain Planet, get them out of here. Because, brother, that's rule number one in sports betting. Like, brother, if you can't gamble responsibly, you shouldn't be gambling. And that falls under gambling responsibly, but not taking it to the Twitter streets and get your pitchfork out and, oh my God, K-Cop, she supposed to get 21 tonight. She got 19. Brother, I'm going to need you to go over there with that. You don't need to be gambling, man. Salute. Maybe things are tight right now and you don't need to be putting your last dub on Brittany Griner rebounds. It just doesn't need to happen this way. And so I feel like those people, biggest losers, biggest jokers, take a walk.
I love that, because these players for so long in the W space, I think that why they're such big personalities, why we know so much, is because they've had to be their own advocates for so long, right? So they're accessible in a way that most men's sports athletes are not, where you can't, if you're going to reach out to, I don't know, now I can't think of a male athlete. That's not a bad problem to have. But I've got a fantasy.
Naz Reid.
But yeah, okay. If you reach out to Naz Reid and you say, Naz Reid, why didn't you hit my assist prop, right? Why? I don't know. First of all, why you're betting on his assist prop. But if you hit him up, that's a drop in the bucket. He's never seeing that. Unless it's Kevin Durant. They're not seeing what you're mentioning them in on Twitter. So it doesn't hit necessarily in the same way as some of these W players who they're all, I don't think they all need to be leaders, right? They don't need to be role models, but they are all ambassadors in a way that other sports don't necessarily need to be. So they need to have this social media presence. Yeah. And it's hard if then they're met with the bullshit, right? So I think that's something that we talk about, Owen and I talk about all the time, in terms of just what can make you a better interviewer. And the answer is listening, right? It's treating people like human beings. And I feel like that's a responsibility that we as media will put on ourselves, and not all media will do that even, but like the fans, I feel like there should be a code as well, because you're dealing with people first, athletes second.
Right. And that's the gift and the curse of social media. Like, my job is social media, so I have to get in there every now and then, and everybody don't have the same routines upon arrival. Like, a good practice for me is I remember to put on my oil and lotion up before I go into the space of Twitter or space of social media, because by putting on my oil, which is waking up on time early enough, listening to a little book, get me some morning motivation, eat my breakfast, smoke my joint if I'm gonna smoke it, like do the stuff that supplements me and get there. then you go there. Because if you go into social media unprepared or without your shield and your armor, some shit gonna hit you every now and then, and next thing you know, you looking at John Witherspoon's Instagram from 2 weeks ago when he was at the Publix, and I see you out there, bro. You better watch your mouth. Vibes.
I love that. I love that because it's true too that like in this space we are like online. We're chronically online, all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's because we have to be. And I think that we have to be personalities to a point, but also we just need to be locked in on whatever the conversation is. And social media is great for so much stuff. It's great for the growth of all of these sports. It's great for being able to have the access so that you don't need to watch,
Right.
you know, 5 games on a Wednesday night that are for some reason all happening at the same time slot. Like you don't need that. But
I didn't. Since we're here, and I didn't even bring us here, but since we're here magically, if there's 3 games on one night, must they all start at 10 o'clock? Must all 3 games start at 10 o'clock? Luckily, I have the proper accoutrement to watch them, but that shouldn't be required.
yeah,
Come on, W.
I,
Understand us. Please, sisters.
I'm hoping it's
Please.
mostly because this is an Olympic year and hopefully they get it together next year, right? I know schedules are tough, but it's been unnecessary. But my larger point, if I could find it again,
That's
was
me. Sorry about that.
no,
Hand
no,
up, coach.
no.
I don't mean.
No, I was just, oh, I was thinking about how much sports you especially need to watch, right?
Hmm.
Because you don't just do, Owen and I we've got our Yankees on in the background sometimes, but like it's the W that is our job. That's what we need to kind of clue in on and be in the know. And then we can just be passive sports fans in other places. You need to be on
Yeah.
top of everything. How
Right.
how do you stay in this mindset? Because I don't know how you can unplug. And you talked about kind of you have a routine, but do you have that latitude if you're just like, nah, I can't do it tonight. Like I need to go, go to the movies or go pull up to a concert or something like that. Do you have that like off switch or are you just always plugged in?
Yeah, I got an off switch that has been provided for me. I just in a breaking case glass emergency for me because I well I'll just say this. Dan is my friend. Dan Lebitard. He's actually my friend more than most people on the show. Like just ironically, and so he always texts me like, "Bro, take a day if you need it. We good. Like you don't have to worry about it. This, bro, we good. All we need you for today is just get this out, bro, and you don't have to worry about it because he's seen me in person. Sometimes we're out for dinner, and I'm right here checking the Schefter tweeted. Oh, okay. Oh, was that Woj? Oh, Shams? No, no, no. And so they see how crazy and whatever the word is I get about that manic. Is that the right? Look at me, I'm using manic if that's right. But they see how crazy I can get, and so they provide. It's like, yo, take a day whenever you need it, bro. We don't need you to do everything you do. I'm just so insecure about losing my position at times because I'm not the. I mean, I'm not the typical the guy that you would think is running of social media for the Dan Lebertar show with Stu Gatz. I feel like there's probably 100 little tech girls or little tech guys that know the qualifications and the specifications of each analytic and stuff that's they probably on my ass right now. So I feel like to make up for that, I'm gonna just give them some good elbow grease hard work and always be available because I may not know everything that the corporations who hire this social media person know, but I know that motherfucker ain't. Oops, sorry if I can I cuss
Oh,
here. I'm
you
so
could, you
sorry.
could.
I know that that person ain't available at midnight. I know that person ain't wake up at 2 in the morning to get this trade. I know that person ain't cutting clips at 9 p.m. because they love this show, not just because well, I'm through for the day. Like I want this show to succeed because I feel like I'm a part of it, bruh. I don't look at it as a job, so I'm way too much on it. But that's just how I'm gonna be, bruh.
No, I love that. I feel like that's all of us kind of in this space because Owen and I do this as our second jobs, because the
Yeah,
jobs aren't there yet. So that's always when do we get our writing done? It's always 1 o'clock in the
right.
morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. You're breaking down this week. Liberty play on the West Coast on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those games start at 10. I don't log off that
Right.
Zoom until 1 in the morning. It's tough. You're always just chasing the next nap. That's kind of
Right.
just the mentality. So I think you do have to kind of be built for it in that kind of way to an extent too.
Hell yeah, with all these layoffs and stuff be going on, every you wake up in the morning, you see Sports Illustrated laid off 100 folks. I'm like, whoa, wait, let me. Good morning, family. Let me. Hey, everybody good today? Hey, CEO, you need some. Ooh, your car look dirty. Let me take it down to the car wash place, man. I'm on the way headed down there anyway.
I think it's so true what you said and important too, though, because like, those tech people, like they can have, okay, yeah, the maximum, views we're gonna get on this is if you post it exactly this time. And you just can't account for like genuine fandom, passion, hard work. And like
Right.
it comes through in your work, just in this conversation. And I just really appreciate that because so many of the people that get hired in these spots are like, oh, just the analytical and this and that. And it's like you can't really duplicate what actual passion and hard work gets you. So I think that's cool.
For sure. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. So I think we got to get you out of here, but because I got a fantasy football draft tonight that I've done zero prep for. So I'm
Bruh,
looking forward to
you
that.
know, I didn't want to. We're here because you drove the car to this rest stop. I have a fantasy draft at 7 o'clock tonight, and I was just like, if we get to it, we get to it. If not,
Oh,
give me Nick Chubb back.
we
I'll
got
take
you.
him. He'll be back.
We
we're,
got you.
we're
You'll
gonna
be
get you
out.
there. We're gonna get you there.
I
Uh,
don't care, but that's the thing. I care about the W more. I care about this more than that fantasy shit, man. That's fantasy. This real life. This is an opportunity we have to stand on a mountaintop and say, the W as loud, because there's no tree falling in the damn woods over here. Everybody gather around and listen and see this tree fall. Damn it. Sorry, but you drove us there.
I mean, that could have just been the walk off. We could have just called it right there. That's incredible.
we should
Miles,
have. I was going to say, is there anything on the way out that you wanted to plug? But I feel like it's just going to be watch the W, get ready for the playoffs. Give us a prediction on your way out, actually. That's what I would love to hear.
Minnesota looking scary. Connecticut putting it together. Three Janae Carrington, excuse me, I mean Dejanay Carrington. I don't know if Dejanay gonna keep this look in her eyes throughout a playoff run. That's scary. I like Marina over there. I don't know what happened in Chicago. Salute, but Connecticut looking scary and scarier. So I'm thinking Connecticut or Minnesota probably will have something to say. There's always the legends over there in Seattle doing what they doing. You got to keep your eye on them because they almost dropped one to the Dream last night, which would have been terrible for our draft position. But I think that just because they're so experienced, they got Skylar Diggins, they got Smith, excuse me, sorry, Skylar Diggins Smith, they got Jewel, Nick, bro, they Gabby back.
Yeah.
You got to keep your eye on them. I'm not
As
saying
is
they're gonna
Beast.
win nothing. Right, Ezzy, come on, bro, come on, the rebound queen with the Kobe's every game. Like, I'm keeping my eye on them, but I don't think they're gonna win. I just gotta keep my eye on them because they like to steal.
So you're out on both New York and Vegas for this year? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that the bold prediction?
I'm not out on them, but if I gotta choose somebody, I can't go with the people who made it last year. That's boring. Oh yeah, the
Fair.
Vegas Aces, they're gonna put it together. But right now, Vegas looks as human, more human than they've looked over the past couple years. Right now, I say that. But the problem about that is Asia looks more super than she has ever looked in her life. So if you juxtapose those two things, I don't know which is gonna matter down five, game two. When this is gonna be a problem for whoever sees them, and I think they've been unhealthy this whole time. Chelsea Gray really, I don't keep your eye on everybody except
And that for you, that's our dismount because for you as a Dream fan, you're looking at all these teams that you feel like are positioned to do it right now. And let's look forward to 2025. Thank you so much, Juju. This is an awesome conversation. I'm sure we're going to have to bring you back to talk playoffs when that rolls around, and we'll get some nicknames going because I'll bring them right to Basketball Reference.
for sure. And speaking of the playoffs, during this year's playoff, I'm gonna be going live during some half times after the games on the Lebatard and Friends YouTube. It's called the Alley Oop, the show I do. And brothers, you guys are welcome to come whenever you guys want to. Like, bro, like anytime y'all free, or if I know y'all put up them long nights, playoffs, but on one of them off nights, welcome. You're welcome.
Absolutely. Now we got to return the favor. Thank you so much, Juju, and good luck
Yes,
with your
sir.
draft tonight.